Hello and welcome to Heartbeat Alaska Native News and Native Information. I'm Jeannie Green. You are watching the only Alaska Native American weekly television program in America. We have been around for a while. And if you've been an avid viewer all these long years, you know that we encourage Native American Alaska Native reservations and village television stations to air us. And I'd like to welcome the Little River Band of Ottawa. Thank you for joining us, and you'll be watching us every week, and perhaps we'd be able to share some of your news with our viewers. On today's program, we travel once again to beautiful Southeast Alaska, to Kake. Now, fishing industry in this state, whether it's from the Southwest or whatever part of the state, is a little shaky these days. And Southeast Alaska is no exception. We travel to Kake, Alaska for a festival where in that little community, things are actually looking pretty good. Thank you once again for joining us, and I'll be back right after this.
Heartbeat Alaska is brought to you in part by Coastal Villages Region Fund. Thank you, CVRF, for your support of Heartbeat Alaska. And
by the Nature Conservancy of Alaska, working with Alaska's rural communities to conserve and protect our natural heritage.
Hi, I'm Mark from Scan Home, and we are proud to sponsor Heartbeat Alaska.
Scan Home, serving all of Alaska's home and office furnishing needs. Thank you, Scan Home, for making Heartbeat Alaska possible.
Heartbeat Alaska is brought to you in part by Brown's Electric Lighting Gallery. Thank you, Brown's Electric, for your generous support of Heartbeat Alaska.
Over the years, we here at Heartbeat Alaska have been reporting on the fishing industry, and these days things look pretty much bad to worse. In Southeast Alaska, though, the community of Kake, Alaska, has found some reprieve. They're actually doing quite well. They're staying afloat in the salmon-rich waters of Southeast Alaska.
Southeast Alaska, a maze of islands and mainland that attract not only thousands of tourists each year, but also thousands of salmon making their way towards open waters. It's these fish that have provided a source of food and income for the native people of Southeast Alaska for hundreds of years. Commercial fishing has been a mainstay for Native Alaskans and coastal communities, a way of life that has been passed down from generation to generation.
I have been fishing since I was about 10 years old. I fished with my uncles on seine boats and halibut boats. And I fished in the 1960s and 70s on seiners, seining the Indian Islands, out of Hoonah. It was a great fishery. It was a fantastic fishery. Some of the best vessels in all of Alaska fished in the Indian Islands. And then we fished other places in Southeast with the other community fishing fleets as well. I saw the day in Hoonah when there were 300 seine net fishermen vessels in the harbor. And they fished Cross Sound and Icy Straits and Chatham Straits, and it was a dynamic fishery. And all of our community participated in the fishery. While the men were out fishing, the women and young people were in canneries working, and it was a lifestyle that people really enjoyed. They looked forward to that kind of involvement in the industry.
Over the past few years, this way of life has been threatened. With the introduction of farm-raised fish, resulting in substantially lowered fish prices and increasing outside competition, many of the major processors have dropped local fishing boats, leaving Alaska Native fishermen with no one to buy their fish.
Now, because of world competition and marketing of fish and environmental matters and whatnot, we're seeing that there's a change in the industry. What we have here now is the industry, in collaboration with the Seiners Association and other fishermen groups, are trying to reduce the size of the fleet in order to have more efficient fishing fleet. The processors want to begin to control the fish supply that comes to their processing facilities so that they can have quality fish and then also be able to market that fish in a more economic fashion, because right now they have huge inventories of fish in Seattle, warehouses and whatnot that they're not able to market.
It's a chain reaction that is taking its toll on many, if not all, fishing communities throughout the state, causing many of these communities to look elsewhere for a livelihood.
All of the smaller communities are facing this almost extinction of commercial fishing in their smaller communities. I mean, every one of them face the problems of market, whether or not they should continue. If you ever go on a purse seine boat, it's an operation that costs almost, with equipment and everything, $500,000 to $1 million worth of equipment. Insurance, it's just a real big, small business. And it takes a considerable amount of time and money and energy to run them. And they're fast disappearing in the smaller communities.
Basically, we have a rich supply of harvestable fish. Our problem is that we have a limited number of processors who are still putting fish in the can. And then we have a market that's a global market, and the price of them in the world market has been going down due to the world economy. What we have to do is we have to find new markets and diversify products and be more competitive and have better quality fish. If we can do that in the first instance, then we've done something.
One fishing community that has already taken the first step towards adapting to the changes of time is the community of Kake, Alaska.
Kake Foods up there does value-added products development. We turn the halibut, salmon, crab, and everything into value-added products, even black cod. What we think the future of the fishing industry in the state of Alaska is in the areas of adding value to the salmon and the halibut. So we've put a lot of money into the plant over there, and we really truly believe it's going to succeed. This last winter has been the biggest in terms of sales ever. So I think we're getting to it. I think another real interesting thing that we're doing this year is that we're mixing some of the sawdust off of the trees that we fell and harvest and turn it into a compost. And we're selling the compost all over the United States, mixing some of the carcasses of salmon into it. So it's really a good value-added product, and folks all over Alaska are trying to figure out ways in which they can use the carcass much more efficiently, and we found a way. So in Kake, we're always looking for ways to improve the fishing industry, and I think this is probably one of the few small communities and native corporations that have made a commitment to the fishing industry, and we're real proud of it.
And the pride shows. Every year, Kake holds their annual Dog Salmon Festival, where they invite communities from all over the state to come to Kake for a day of fun and recreation.
There's only 10 minutes before they pull out. Okay. You gotta find a place to stow your paddles.
In Juneau, people filed onto the ferries, heading to Kake for a long-awaited adventure. For a couple of these thrill seekers, it was much more than an adventure.
Yep, getting ready to go to the festival over in Kake. I'm the rudder man for the One People Canoe. Also getting married today to Ann Shilton. It's gonna be a good day. We're gonna win. And after that, when we get married, we're gonna win again. Have a good day.
The ferry was packed with people, some going to watch the fun and others going to participate. For this group of ladies, it was one last chance to go over their strategy for the festival's main event.
Our team's from Juneau, Alaska, and what's bringing us to Kake is the Great Tlingit Canoe Races, which are a part of the Dog Salmon Festival. The search canoe teams started coming 2 years ago, and this is our third time coming, and it's a great great competition, be with other communities, be with other canoe teams, and practice something that's traditionally based and healthy. We have a lot of enthusiasm, and we've been practicing, so you know, we just hope for the best.
Yes, we're going to go maintain our title. Search Women's Canoe Team won the race last year, and so we've got them all energized now, so they want to take our title away. But that won't happen. So the energy will be good. Energy will be good there. Yeah, we're going to all have a great time.
If you visit Barrow in the summertime, it can be hard to sleep with that 24-hour sunshine. So, the King Eider, Barrow's newest hotel, does everything to make your stay quiet, relaxing, and worry-free. Don't worry about a cab. The King Eider is a short walk from the airport. Need to get around town? No problem. The King Eider rents cars. Want a room with a kitchenette? The King Eider's got them. Smoke-free, alcohol-free. It's the hotel so clean, they ask you to take your shoes off when you come in the door. The King Eider Inn, Barrow, Alaska.
I will not allow the legislature to use any of your permanent fund earnings without a vote of the people.
That's why I'm supporting Fran Ulmer. She believes those dollars should remain in your pockets. I certainly agree, and if you do, you'll join me in voting for Fran Ulmer.
The people of Alaska created the permanent fund. As your governor, I will protect the fund and its earnings with a vote of the people. That's my promise.
Each week, Heartbeat Alaska brings you great stories from all over the state. And we couldn't do it without the generous support of Frontier Flying Service. Frontier gets our camera crews where they need to go. So whenever you see a Frontier plane, give them a wave.
Say hi from Northside.
You might just be on Heartbeat Alaska.
Frontier Flying Service, covering Alaska for over 50 years.
Hi, this is Jeannie Green. From Southeast Alaska to the Chukchi Sea to the interior tundra and everything in between, Heartbeat Alaska brings you stories from across the state to the lower 48. Join us as natives share their stories with you.
Every week, right here on ARCS.
The ferry ride to Kake was an opportunity for people to plan and prepare for the big day ahead of them. For others, it was a chance to catch up on some traditional hobbies.
I'm working on red and yellow cedar. I'm covering a vial. I usually put flowers in this year, red or yellow cedar flowers. I should be done in about half hour.
Well, first you have to gather it, and you can only gather it once a year, and then you have to strip it down to the thickness of what you're working on, and then the fun starts. Then the fun begins. Then you weave. Then you figure out a pattern that you want to do, and then you could do earrings, bottles, pouches, bracelets. You could do a lot of stuff.
It was a welcome like no other. Greeted by the songs of the Tlingit people, the ferry was guided to the dock where the welcome ceremony got underway.
What I like best about this 2002 Dog Salmon Festival is that everybody came off of work and we're all gathering together to make it a very special event. We're dedicating this one to Brittany Mills, a young girl in our community who was taken before her time, and there's a lot of love in this house right now. What you got here is the Tlingits of Kake opening up their house to the whole Southeast Alaska. We got people from Sitka, Angoon, Juneau, Metlakatla, Ketchikan, they're all here. This is the place to be.
Unless you're this nervous couple.
Well, I'm getting my boots on now. Coming up here at 12:15, I'm getting married. This is one of those deals I didn't expect to be getting right off the boat, doing the ceremony and getting dressed. I thought I'd have a chance to have something to drink and something to munch on a little bit. But things you gotta do to get the things you want. And what I want is Ann. So, went and got a new shirt, got my boots on, my hat, gotta do it right. And now it's a hurry up thing, because running behind schedule. Oh, thanks, man.
Hey, now you got the beaver.
No, I got the stuff.
Now you got the beaver.
I got the beaver. This is a bolo tie. It's a beaver. And my wife-to-be, she is a beaver in her native culture. And so Kevin said that now I got the beaver, and now I do. I got the beaver right here. It's pretty tough, you know? I just want today to be a good day.
It's a feather that one of the people from Kake gave to me because I forgot my flowers. And I told them I wanted to have something with a paddle on it, and this is what was brought to me. It's got a raven beaver on there, that's what I am.
Good luck, Brian.
See you at the altar.
Hurry up! We got 2 minutes, woman!
Yeah, it's up. Oh my gosh. I'm a nervous wreck.
Oh, this is hard.
For as much as this man and woman have consented together in holy wedlock, and have witnessed the same before God and this company, and have declared the same by joining of hands, I now pronounce that they are husband and wife together in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Make this the bride.
Are you traveling to Anchorage for education or health care? The Alaska Family Hospice is your home in the city. Located 1.5 blocks from the Alaska Native Medical Center, Alaska Family Hospice offers fully equipped apartments, housekeeping services, shuttle service, Medicaid payments, grocery shopping service, or cook your own native food right in your apartment.
Well, I've been coming here for the last 3 years, and all the times I come here, it's like a home away from home.
For total comfort, affordability, and safety, come on home to the Alaska Family Hospice, your home in the city.
This is Grant Fairbanks. He's a pretty nice guy. He's lived in Bethel a long time. He owns Brown Slough Bed and Breakfast.
We have two bed and breakfasts, the north building and the south building. We have 4 rooms in each.
Whenever we visit Bethel, we stay at Brown Slough, and Grant serves us a great breakfast.
Quiet atmosphere, it's homey, it's very clean, it's safe and secure.
We'd like to thank Grant and the whole crew at Brown Slough Bed and Breakfast.
It's Heartbeat, Alaska. It's Heartbeat, Alaska. You can hear it from Sitka to Barrow. Gather around for Jeannie's show. It's the Aleut, the Idiot, and the Eskimo.
Every week, right here on ARCS.
All kids can choose not to start using drugs.
But some can't choose to stop. Drugs change what's in their head.
They take over their mind.
Make them do things that make no sense.
You've got to influence your kids' thinking.
Before drugs do.
Addiction is a brain disease. For information, visit stopdrugaddiction.org or call 1-800-729-6686.
Welcome back. Each year, the community of Kake, Alaska holds their Dog Salmon Festival. It's a wonderful time where friends and relatives gather in that beautiful little community. They come from all over the state and from the lower 48. It's a wonderful time to get together where the locals invite their chums.
There was no lack of things to do with this year's Dog Salmon Festival, especially with all of the different events to participate in, like the 50-yard dash. It was a blast for everyone, except for maybe this young athlete.
Well, I was coming in for the final sprint and I fell down, slipped on some mud. Ouch.
And for the risk takers of the group, it was all or nothing in the tote race. That's right, a race against the clock to row from one side to the other in a tote.
Port side's got to pick up the pace a little.
It started off good. We had a good rhythm going, but we got out of sync and we both zigged when we should have zagged, and we fell in some nasty, smelly, fishy water, but it was well worth it because it was a lot of fun. And the water wasn't that cold, really.
It was great. We just fell out of sync, but we were going fast. I thought we had it.
Yeah, I did too.
Well, we figured also that we'd flip so no one else would have to.
The bike race was pretty popular amongst all three contestants. And for the long-winded athletes, the 5K run would help build a pretty hearty appetite for the delicious food that was being prepared.
Got halibut and sockeye. Except they started a little too early for We're barely keeping ahead of the crowd.
For the serious athletes, it was the calm before the storm. This athlete was preoccupied touching up his team's paddles with a little paint for the big event, the canoe race.
But the local team here, I guess, is pretty good. I've never raced them before. They're supposed to be the best.
Well, this is it, all right? We've been practicing all summer. We got some great people on board, and it's not quite raining yet. This is our third year for some of us. Understand they're going to start with the men's race. We know the course, and we'll give it our best because there is no second race.
Go ahead, take your spots. Take your spots.
From the word go, it was a tight race, perhaps a little too tight, but it didn't take too long to see that it was going to be a competitive one, with the Renegades and the Warriors teams battling neck and neck with the Cake's men's team for the first place. But somewhere near the final stretch, one team took a wrong turn, and it would be the local Kake men's team that would cross the finish line first. In the long run, it would be the Renegades and the Tlingit Warriors, a mixed team from Juneau, that would be crowned victorious in the men's race, with the Cake's men team misjudging the course markers. Now, it was up to the local women's team to show the crowd who was boss. In the end, the One People team from Juneau would take first place in the women's race, with the Kake Fallen Angels coming in second. Day started to wind down, the local band started to kick in. And what a better way to wrap up the day of fun and festivities than with a little Jimi Hendrix. It was a Dog Salmon Festival that would go down in the pages of history. It's times like these when the people of Southeast Alaska come together and stand together. That goes to show no matter how tough times may be, the Native people of Alaska will emerge even stronger.
Thank you once again for joining us for Heartbeat Alaska. And thank you, Gordon Jackson and the Kake Tribal Council, for inviting Heartbeat Alaska to Kake, Alaska for the 8th Annual Dog Salmon Festival. Thank you for making this story possible. And once again, hello and welcome. We have a new carrier from Michigan, the Little River Band of Ottawa Indians. So nice to have you with us. Nice to have you with us too. Join us again next week for Heartbeat Alaska. God bless every single one of you.
Sheesh.